Okay. So, Wilmary, what does beauty mean to you? How do you define beauty?
Well, I define beauty as what's your true you. I mean, like, if I think about what's beautiful or a person that's beautiful, it's what they show the world, what they're not scared to show the world, what's inside of them. I really don't think beauty is what you see. When some people are saying like beauty is in the eye of the beholder, I honestly believe that you get to know somebody's true beauty once you get to know the person. And I think it's a more intimate thing than a superficial thing. Yeah. I think beauty is being authentically you in the realest way.
Absolutely, 100%. So, can you share with us, when do you feel you're most beautiful?
When I feel my most beautiful has to be when I'm like happy, like when I'm laughing uncontrollably. Because I feel like in my happiest moments, I don't have any control over who I am in that moment. So I feel like it's the most free, the most unburied Wilmary that you get, the most wall-less Wilmary that you actually get. Because I have no control, and it's when I smile and when I'm just feeling happy, because I know that sometimes you go out and you think that, oh, I should have done this, I should have worn these pants. But it doesn't really matter if you are happy within yourself. When I'm happy within myself, it doesn't matter what I'm wearing. I still feel good. I still feel like I got this, you know?
Yes, girl. So, can you share with us what is one of your first or earliest memories regarding beauty?
Beauty is actually something that I always struggled with, because I always have very like deep insecurities. I think when I think back, when I have to think of my photo album, because I only felt beauty, true beauty, a few years ago. I really didn't grow up thinking that I was beautiful at all. I only took part in one beauty pageant ever, and that was when I was in pre-primary, because my mother forced me, and I got second runner up. So as I looked at that picture, and I looked happy in that picture, but I always thought that, you know, you're beautiful, or some people might think you're pretty, but you're not number one. You could never be the most beautiful girl in the room to anybody because of that. And I don't think it's like a deep-rooted thing in the sense of I didn't feel that beauty pageant was the most biggest thing and that's how people perceive beauty. It wasn't just because it was a beauty pageant, but I just felt like because I came third place, I'm just not the number one picked. And I think through my life, growing up and going through school and going through high school, that carried through. I was always with the most pretty girl, but I never like stood out. I never tried even to be that pretty girl. I never even forced it. And I think my perception of beauty was very obscured, because I really thought that beauty was what other people saw and how I looked instead of how I felt. And I think that kept me back. But like until like recently, until 2016 and 2015, that's when I really stepped into who I am and being confident in showing the world my true self, and not just being like, I can show the world who I am, but don't show them too much. I became the woman that doesn't really care what other people think and what their perception of beauty is, but like who I am, I'm gonna be true to that, because I can't be anyone else, you know? Yeah.
Absolutely, and we love that woman. So, can you then share with us about a moment or when you question your beauty or feel ugly?
I think when I question my beauty is when I'm not confident in myself. When I feel like, oh my word, I cannot do what is at hand. Like I question my beauty when I have to speak in front of people a lot, because I still have some insecurities about that. And then I have to go back into a place where I have to tell myself, but we've dealt with this sort of like, you are enough, you know. You don't have to be enough for every person. You don't have to be the most prettiest person for every person. Just know and be true to yourself that there were moments and glimpses that you knew that you were everything. You had it all together. So I feel like I have to, but like being in front of a lot of people and like being bold and stuff like that, I sometimes do feel that, am I pretty enough, you know? So yeah, I think it's when I'm not confident in who I am.
Love it. Cannot we go for the lips?
You can.
So, if you could change one thing about yourself, what would that be and why?
Oh, there's one thing.
Okay, go for it.
There's quite a few things, but I think I sometimes feel like I've got a very broad jaw. And some people will be like, oh no, you've got such strong cheekbones, you've got such strong features. And I feel like that's very manly to have such a broad jaw. I walk funny. I know, right? People won't even notice this. But when I was growing up, I walk funny. My knees go inwards, and I think when I was in grade 1, my parents realized that that was actually like a problem for myself, and then we went to a few specialists, and then they said they had to break both my knees to like make my legs straight. And my mom was like, for a girl that is now in grade 1, we do not want to traumatize her like this. And then I grew up into it, but like I was picked on, I had my nicknames, and it was really hurtful. But I think even though I see those things as flaws, if I was given the opportunity right now, I don't think I would actually be like, let's change this, because I think it contributes so much to who I am. Why would you want to look like duplicates of other people, or try to resemble another person because you think that is normal? Because what if me made in this has made me who I am and made me true to who I am? I never want to be someone else. I always want to be true to me. So I take these things and be like, but that's you, and why would you want to change you? Yeah.
Yes. So then, on that note, then, what's an insecurity that you previously have had and that you've overcome now and maybe even embraced about yourself?
I think that my bubbliness that I have. Yes, I wasn't always bubbly. I wasn't. I was always like reserved. At a point in time, I thought that my voice didn't really matter. I shouldn't speak that much, and I shouldn't, like, people don't want to hear what you're saying, Wilmary. Like, why are you speaking like that? And I think when I truly stepped into who I am, I realized that people will have to deal with me and my comments and what I have to say, even if it doesn't change their lives, even if it has no significance in their lives. I need to get it out there, and I'm a very expressive person. And like, I think if people see me now who was in high school and primary school with me, they would say that I wasn't always like the loudest, the most bubbliest person, because I was reserved. I blocked that part of me and put it aside for a very long time. I could never speak in front of people before. In high school, I used to, I remember one oral clearly that I froze and I couldn't speak, and for a very long time that was me. And then like, I'm slowly getting there.
So then, how do you think the current society that we're living in today has influenced how you see other people and how you see yourself as well?
Current society, wow, okay. I feel like current society has a long way to go in the terms of looking beyond what they see and seeing a true person. I get the first time you meet somebody, you do see them for who they are and what they bring you, or what they look like. But I sometimes feel like society needs to move away from that, because what about the people that really do shy away or really don't put themselves out there dramatically and express themselves the way they look, but then the inner person, what about that? You know, do society allow people that is actually being pushed out of society to actually step into who they really are? I feel like society has modeled to what they think that the world wants to see and what they think is appropriate right now. I do, however, think that society has moved far from where it used to be. I mean, where were the days where straight hair was always appreciated and like curly hair was just shunned? And you know, like now people are embracing their hair. I mean, I was one of those people who relaxed my hair up until 2013. I thought straight hair was beautiful and curly hair wasn't, and that was also one of the things that I had to overcome. Be like, no, this is who you are, this is your natural you. One of the days where people always said that if you are skinny you are pretty, if you are a little bit overweight you are not. You know, people are now going to a time where they actually see people beyond their weight size or their curves, and actually allowing people, because some people are just genetically built like that, you know, and that was very wrong. So I do believe we've come so far, but I do believe that society has a very long way to go still.
Okay, So, in what ways do you express who you are to the world other than the physical? Could be through certain hobbies, art forms, acts of service. Yeah.
Acts of service. Wow. Okay. Firstly, I think I express myself through my personality and through who I like when I'm just like bubbly and like I talk to people a lot, and I think that's how I express myself a lot because it's really true, Wilmary. It's really authentic, you know. And then the other thing is like when you say acts of service, I didn't even think about that, but I really help I really like helping others a lot. Like and it stems from like my first career choice, which was nursing and working in ICU, and now I'm studying dentistry and I want to help putting like smiles on every single person's face, even help babies who's born with deformities and cleft palates, certain things like that. I really think that I do express myself because that's where I invest most of my time into helping others. Yeah, I think that's my craft.
Amazing. Can we go for the face now?
And can I have another one? Because that one is pretty soiled.
So, our last question is, at this stage in your life, what would you say is the most important lesson that you've learned so far?
The most important lesson I learned so far is that be yourself. And be true to who you are, and especially who God created you, because He made you in His image and He doesn't make mistakes, never ever. I think that's one of the things that I've learned in my journey is that embrace who you are, with the quirks, with the funny walks, with the big jaws, like whatever it is, like literally like with the being the most hairiest person alive, like just embrace it, because I mean all of those facets, they make you, and they make the world here needs people who's authentic and true to themselves and unapologetic, showing that this is who I am. And I think for me it was a big lesson because for a very long time I felt like I can show you parts of me, but I can't be all of me. You won't really want that. The world doesn't want you to be all of you all the time to them, and I think that that's where my confidence stems from. And if I didn't overcome that and if I didn't learn that lesson, I don't think I would be a confident person at all. Yeah.
Thanks so much, Wilmary. We're done.
Yay!
That was amazing. How do you feel?
I feel good. This is really an awesome experience. Like just talking. Yay!
Yes, you do what you do best.
Yeah. That's a pleasure.
So we're gonna take some after pictures over here.